going to take you guys through the phone interview process, kind of our experiences, and any tips that we might have for you.
So after you complete your web-based interview, congratulations.
You got to go through the scary moment where it just tells you,
hello, you have a phone interview.
I think they show a picture of Mickey and I was just like, whoa.
Hello there. But anyway, so once you get past the web-based interview, there's going to be either congratulations or sort of a thank you for your time, but try again next application period. But if you get to the phone interview, congratulations. It's terrifying,
Now
but
the
you
real
got
stress
this.
begins.
But after your web-based interview, you'll get an email or a link or something to set up a time for your phone interview. I really recommend that you know your schedule ahead of time, and yeah, pick a time that works for you, because
I took mine in between 2 classes, and although I did have an ample amount of time in between these classes, I went from philosophy to a phone interview with the Walt Disney Company to microeconomics. I wouldn't necessarily not recommend that if that's what you have to do, but if you have like a weekend to do it, maybe you could be smarter than I was and schedule it for a time where you're actually not that sad.
For my personal experience, all of my application and my web-based interview were all on the very first day that applications dropped.
Same.
And then it gave me times to schedule my phone interview on the very first day of all phone interviews.
Nope.
So that was what I elected to do.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Whew.
So mine was on the very first day. It was in the afternoon, and I was so stressed about it all day that as soon as it was over, I fell asleep because I was just so anxious all day that I
cried after mine, and it wasn't like sad tears, it was just like that was the most terrifying moment of my life tears, and it was over, and yeah.
Yeah, so here are a couple of tips to hopefully make your process a little less stressful and, you know, help you feel a little bit more prepared.
We're proof that you'll be okay. I mean, I don't know if you would classify either of us as okay, but you will live till the end of your phone interview. So one of the main tips we have for you guys is to kind of make a sheet with quick, easy to read, not full sentences, notes that you can kind of paste on the wall next to you wherever you're sitting to take your phone interview. Because if you write out full sentences, you're going to be really tempted to read off of them, and the recruiter over the phone will know that you're reading. They can kind of tell if you're scripted, if you will.
Because it's really important to kind of, at least if there's one question that I would think about how you're going to answer beforehand is, you know, the why do you want to do the Disney College Program or why do you want to work for Disney? Mm-hmm. Always make sure that when you're thinking of that answer that you are acknowledging that this is an internship and it's supposed to be helping you prepare yourself for a career in the future. And even if you're just blatantly honest saying, you know, this is a great opportunity for me to be back with the company in the future, be honest, but at least you have sort of a goal for the future and why you would like to do this as an internship as opposed to being a cast member as a part-time job.
If you have any interest in the Disney professional internships, definitely mention that in your phone interview because they will admire the fact that you are going through kind of like the steps that they've set up to get higher up in the company. I know I mentioned that in my phone interview when she asked me how Disney would help me in the future, because she didn't ask me why I wanted to do the college program. She asked me why I wanted to work for Disney and how it would help me further my college career, and I mentioned that I had interest in applying for professional internships in the future, and this was the first step to accomplishing that goal.
If I have another tip of how to sound less scripted, please, I know you're on YouTube. I know you're on YouTube because we're on YouTube. If there is a link on the side of our face that has a 20-minute long video of a real phone interview, do not click it.
Do not click it.
Don't do it.
Don't watch it.
Don't do it.
Don't film your phone interview.
Do not.
Just
avoid.
It is you and the recruiter on the phone. Nobody else should even honestly be in the room with you.
Please promise us. You'll
we
be
are
fine
good
without
people,
it.
okay? Don't take what we're saying for granted.
Just don't. If you see a picture of a person talking on the
It's
phone,
my face, but
it might not be over on this side, it might be on this side. I don't know how the internet works. Just don't click it. Alright, your turn. What's your tip?
Okay. So, on your phone interview, they're going to ask you what your top 3 roles are and kind of the order in which you would like. Make sure that you kind of look through the questions online. We'll link below a list of possible questions. Do not write out the answers for these questions word to word, but kind of have an idea, especially if there are role-specific questions that you put high interest in. Kind of prepare yourself for the types of questions they're going to ask you, especially if it's a role that you really want.
Yeah, definitely. And I really recommend that you at least write down the expectations of each role, like what you're expected to be able to perform as a cast member, just so if they ask you any questions about a specific role, you can say, hey, I'd love to be a lifeguard. I can swim X amount of feet in X amount of minutes and carry X amount of pounds of weight because saving lives. I don't know what the lifeguard requirements are. I can't swim. But, yeah.
Another tip that I have for the phone interview is if you know any specific Disney lingo, such as calling customers guests, or anything else that you already know about, definitely mention that in your phone interview. Don't say like, hello recruiter, I know these Disney terms, but mention them in your answers. Like if they ask why you want to do the college program, say that you would love to give that great customer service to guests. They will
make a magical moment, experience and get to know cast members from all around the world. Mm-hmm. Just really sell it.
I was super extra in my interview when I said that I wanted to get a 4 keys card. You don't have to
if
go.
You know what that is?
If you know what that is, mention it. But don't force any of these phrases into the phone interview. But if there is a spot for you to mention something Disney specific that you already know, definitely go for it because the phone interviewer will know.
Yeah.
I speak English.
Also, make sure that you write down your recruiter's name. They're going to mention it as soon as you answer the phone. They're going to be like, hello, is this Heather? Hello, my name is
Debbie.
Yay, Debbie. But just write it down, and then further along in your interview, they're going to ask you if you have any questions. Make sure that you mention, well, Debbie, I do have a question for you. And also ask questions to your recruiters. Even I had like a valid question that I needed answered.
So did I.
To know how the classes would work with the scheduling, and if I were taking online classes, what I could do to sort of guarantee that I was going to have the time commitment for my online classes. And she was super helpful in answering those. But then at the end of your interview, make sure that you thank them for their time as well. And, thank you, Debbie. It was a pleasure talking to you today.
If you don't have any college program specific questions to ask them something as simple as how they got their start with Disney. I asked my recruiter what the most valuable thing she learned from her experience with Disney was. So just try to get to know them too, because they're going to ask you a couple questions about you as a person, not just how you would do in Disney, so it's only courteous to ask them the same thing.
Yeah, and I believe I asked my recruiter as well if she could give any advice to CPs who are moving far distances, like what she recommends for that, just because I dorm at school, but I also have never moved I always say like across the country. It was more like horizontal, like New Jersey to Florida.
That's why if you ever hear us say down there, that's because we went down to get there.
But she was really super helpful. I believe she was a CP as well, so she was just sort of like make the most of your time there. But again, it made everything a little less scary knowing that she had gone through a lot of the same experiences.
Another tip that I have is if there's something you want to do that only the college program has to offer, such as any of the classes, or if you've heard of any like speaking events that have happened when you have friends who were in the college program, make sure to mention that in your interview too, because the recruiters will appreciate the fact that you don't just want to run around in the parks all day, but there's other aspects of the college program that you think would be valuable to you if you were able to experience them.
Yeah. I think my last final helpful hint would be don't be afraid to really express how much you love Disney, because although this is a professional opportunity, they really do want people that are passionate about the brand and what they stand for. And just if you've ever been to Disney parks, tell them an experience that you had with a cast member that really made you want to be able to provide that same kind of service and magic. And if you've never been to the parks before, let them know like, hey, I really think it would be pretty neato for my first time in a Disney parks to be as a cast member. Like, that's pretty cool. But also keep in mind that this is a professional opportunity, so don't just talk about how much you love Disney and how much you really, really want to work for Mickey Mouse, but also why this is going to help you in the future.
They want to know why you are going to become an asset to the company. They want to know why you would do well in any of the roles that you expressed interest in and how you would make a positive impact on the guests' experiences at Walt Disney World. And one of the simplest tips I have is smile. Smile while you are talking, because a smile can be heard through the phone, and they will definitely know if you're just straight-faced and nervous and sound like you're not enjoying yourself. But if you smile, they're going to think that this is pretty easy for you and that you're genuinely excited about the interview and everything that the college program has to offer.
Yeah. So breathe, smile.
Talk slowly. Talk like you're talking to your mom.
Yeah.
Because the recruiters are not scary. After 2 seconds on the phone with them, you're going to feel like you're just talking to an old friend about how much you want to do the college program.
Yeah. So in the down bar, we are going to link the college program website as well as a list of potential questions that you can use to practice, you know.
Don't get scared. It's a long list.
It's a long list.
But also, like, you will be thankful that that list existed.
Yeah. Grab a friend who is willing to talk to
Good
you on
old
the
buddy.
phone and practice. And you got this.
Good luck.
You got this. Alright, if you'd like to check out any of the other videos of our series, they'll be linked in the down bar as well. And have a magical day, folks.
Bye.